How's it going, guys? So in this video I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how you can swap your old PS3 hard drive for a new one. This was basically to expand your storage, and the process is similar on the PS4, but only tweaked slightly. But anyways, I'm going to be doing it for the PS3. I'm going to demonstrate on this guy right here. It's a PS3 FAT. Right now it's got 40 gigs in, but I've got a 500 gigabyte hard drive, so I'm going to put that in. So to do this, as you'd expect, you'd need your hard drive, your system, a crosshead screwdriver, maybe a little smaller in size, so I got two right here, some little pry tool thing, or you can even use your thumbnail, I guess, and then you're going to need a USB flash drive. Really, it doesn't have to be much unless you plan on backing up a lot of stuff. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. So now I'm going to take this USB flash drive, I'm going to stick it into my computer just to format it, because it needs to be a specific type so that the PS3 can read it. Alright, so let me go ahead and put in my USB. There we go. And then it's going to pop up, so we're going to just expand this. Right now my USB is empty, so I'm going to right click right here. I'm going to go to Format. I'm going to make sure it's on the full size FAT32. This is what's important. And then you can put default allocation size. We'll make sure quick format is checked, and then we'll start. Remember, it's going to tell you that everything will be deleted, so make sure you back up before you hit OK. And then we're just going to let it work for a bit. Once the format is complete, we're going to close this out, and then we can go ahead and open it up again. We can go to our USB, and then when we click on that, we're going to right click, and then we go to properties. We can see that the file system is FAT32. We are done. So now that we've updated our USB drive, we can put it into one of the USB slots. There we go. And this is important if you want to back up some of your stuff. So let's say you'll have save data, stuff like that, and that's what we're going to save right here. So we're going to go over to the PS3, and from here we're going to go into settings, and then we're going to go down to system settings and backup utility. We're going to click that. We're going to click backup. It's going to ask us if we want to back up the data on the hard drive to storage media. We're going to say yes. We're going to choose our USB device, and now it's going to start backing up the system. So depending on the amount of stuff you have on your actual system, this may or may not take longer or be shorter. Mine was pretty quick because I didn't have much on the system. So there's really no need for me to back up. And if you don't care about the data that you have on the system and you want to start fresh, you don't need to do this part. You can actually skip ahead. So back on the computer now, we're going to open up Google. We're going to type in PS3 OFW, which basically stands for official firmware. We're going to click on the first one. It's going to redirect us to a Sony web page. It's Sony's official page, and they actually have the latest system software version for the PS3 available for download. You can hit that blue button to download it. I'm just going to scroll down. So over here, we're going to see this is where we have to place the actual file. It's going to be from the root to the PS3 to update, and then we're going to have to name the file PS3 updat.pup. So I'm going to go ahead and click download, and then it's going to download. We're just going to wait for that to finish. Alright, so once it's finished downloading, then we basically go back to our downloads file. We're going to right click, and then I'm going to cut. You can also copy, whatever you want to do, but I'm just going to cut, and then I'm going to go to my USB flash drive. I'm going to create a new folder. In all caps, I'm going to call it PS3. And then I'm going to open that folder, create another folder, and in all caps, I'm going to call it update. And then in that folder, I will paste the PS3 updat file that I downloaded from the Sony website. And so again, it goes PS3 update, and then you have the file. And so now we can eject our USB, and we're done. So now that we've actually got the update firmware on our USB, we're going to go over, turn off the system, and now we're going to completely unplug it and take out the old hard drive. So like I said, we're going to turn off the system, and then we're going to unplug the wires at the back, and now it is completely unplugged and turned off. So then we'll take a look at the system. On its left hand side, this is for the FAT model. That's where we can locate the actual PS3 hard drive cover. So If I take a little pry tool, this one's plastic, you can even use your nail, just come in the side, pop that guy out, and then we'll actually see where the hard drive is located. Now if you have a regular slim model, you're actually going to look at the front area, and just beneath the disk drive you'll actually see this little square area. This is where the hard drive is located, but before you can access it you actually have to turn it on its back, and you'll see this little square area. I don't know how well you'll be able to see, but this little square area right there, you're going to take a little pry tool, go in there, and then kind of unhinge that guy. It's going to stay stuck on, it's not going to come off completely. Or I lied, it's going to come off completely, but there are some slim models where it does not come off completely, it stays hinged kind of. And then you're going to take a look a little closer, and you're going to see on the inside that there's a blue screw. Once you remove this blue screw, you can actually pull this to the side. So let me just go ahead and show you guys. Okay, blue screw is out. So now looking at the front again, push that to the side, comes out just like that. This guy's pretty dusty, and then you can just pull it by this metal tab right there, and you can just pull that out. So that's how you get it out for the regular slim. Now if you're using a PS3 Super Slim model, then the hard drive will actually be located on the right hand side. I think there may be a cover covering this. It actually will look something like that, and then you can pop out the little PS symbol, and then this lid will come off. My system actually doesn't have that. I bought this guy used. But anyways, this is where the hard drive is located. We're going to take off that blue screw, and that's for if you have a Super Slim. Alright, so we pop this guy out, just like doing that I guess, and then we would remove this blue screw right there at the center. There's even a little arrow indicating towards it. So we're going to remove that with our crosshead screwdriver, and then it's loose. We're going to make sure not to lose this. We'll set it aside, and then there's a little metal tab that you can undo right there, and that kind of gives you leverage to pull the actual system out of its place. So we're going to pull back and then pull up, and now we have the actual hard drive, and it's in its tray. So now we have to separate these two guys. So I'm going to put this aside. Now we'll focus on this. So if we take a look for this specific model, you're going to look at the sides. You're going to see that there's screws, 2 on this side. You're going to turn around, you're going to see 2 on this side. I've actually lost one, and that's because, well, I didn't lose it. I actually kind of broke it off trying to take it out. These are very easy to strip, so you're going to have to be very careful when you're trying to take them out. They are all crosshead. You're going to use your tiny crosshead screwdriver for that, and if you do end up stripping them, it's not the end of the world. I'll make a separate video on how to take them out if you have stripped them. But if you don't want to try to take that method, another thing you can do is buy a replacement. So basically, crosshead screwdriver to remove these screws. That's one. And that's going to be 3 for me, should be 4 for you guys. There we go. And then you'll see that the actual hard drive comes out of its tray pretty easily. So this guy you can now do whatever you want with. You can keep it, you can use it as external storage, you can sell it. A lot of times they're not going to be worth much. This one's 40 gigs, so you can also use them in a laptop if you want, I suppose. So now I'm going to take my new hard drive. This one's 500 gigs, and this is really hot. This is really cool. Anyways, so I'm going to place it the same orientation that it was in. So basically you're going to have the back of the tray where the back of the hard drive goes, and then the open face is going to be where the connection goes. And then so the trays will actually vary depending on which model you have. For example, this is a tray from the Super Slim, and you'll see that the screws, well, if there were screws in, are actually at the bottom 4 corners, and same with the Super Slim. I believe they're also on the bottom as opposed to the sides, but they're just as hard to get out, so be careful not to strip them. And again, you'll just want to make sure that the connection side is open and free to connect. You'll notice that the back is covered up and blocked off. Now all I'm going to do is secure my new hard drive in place on the tray using those same screws that I had earlier. Now if you've stripped any of your screws, and you use the method that I actually showed you to get them out, you are going to lose some of the screws, just like I've lost one here. But if you still have 2 or 3 left, or even just one, that should be fine enough to hold it in place. If you have 2, I'd recommend putting them on opposite sides. If you have 1, just put it, I guess, anywhere. It doesn't really matter. There we go. So we got the 3 screws in for this guy, and now all we have to do is put this back in the system. So now we'll drop it in the way it was, and so we'll notice that this little metal area will kind of slide in when we push on that tab, and then it's going to line up with the hole right there, and that hole is where we put our blue screw. So I'm going to get it tightened back on. There we go. And then you can put the cover back on. So now we got a new hard drive in there, but when we start this guy up, it's not going to recognize. So that's why we have the official firmware on our USB drive. We're going to put that guy in here, and it's going to reinitialize this hard drive. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hook this guy back up to the TV, just so we can see everything that's going on. So I'm going to put in the power cable, and then I'm going to get the HDMI cable as well. Okay, nice. And then we're going to turn the switch on. So we're just going to take our USB flash drive that does have the update, and we're going to put it in one of the USB slots on the PS3. Alright, so now we're going to start up the system and see what happens. Okay, so it's telling us to connect the controller using a USB cable and then press the PS button. So I've got my controller over here. It's already connected with the cable, as you can see. So I'm just going to go ahead and push the PS button. Now it says the system software cannot be run correctly. Press the PS button to try to restart the system. If the system cannot be restarted, the system partition of the system storage must be reformatted, and you must reinstall the system software. Connect storage media that contains update data of version 4.82 or later, and then press both start and select buttons at the same time. So basically, we've already covered the storage media part when we put that update in our PS3 folder. So that's what that is. The system cannot be restarted because the partition of the system storage must be reformatted, and you must reinstall system software. What that basically means is that this is a brand new hard drive and it's completely empty. It's not formatted to be read properly by the PS3 system. What we're going to do is format it to the correct type and then install the system software. So with the USB drive inside, I'm going to press start and select at the same time. Now it's going to check and look for that system update version. So after some time, it says the system partition of the system storage will be formatted. During the format operation, all data on the system storage may be deleted. To format, press and hold the start and select buttons at the same time for at least 5 seconds. If you format, you cannot go back to the previous version of system storage. So basically, it's letting you know that if you had stuff on here, it's going to be formatted, it's going to be deleted, and it's going to be gone. We're going to basically write to this hard drive as a new hard drive. And that's what we intend to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and press start select. Now if you, I'm going to go ahead and press start select and hold it for 5 seconds. Now if you didn't get to this screen, it's probably because you may not have put the actual update folder in the right files. So make sure to double check that it's on the root of the USB, which is formatted as a FAT32 USB. On the root, you're going to have a PS3 all caps folder. In that folder, you're going to have an update all caps folder, and in that folder, you're going to have the .pup file, and that has to be renamed to PS3 updat. So there won't be a E at the end. It's going to be .pup after. And then it's going to go ahead and take us into the formatting loading screen. So we're just going to wait for this to finish off. So it looks like it's finished formatting. Now we've gone into the safe mode screen. So again, it's asking me to use the controller to press the PS button. The previous screen was for formatting. Now it's going to install the system update file that we've had on it. So I'm going to agree to the user agreement. I'm going to accept. And it says do not turn off the system while it is updating. I'm going to press X to get it started. And now we wait. So now we see it starting back up. Again, we're in safe mode, so I'm going to press the PS button and it's going to take us through initialization. I'm going to say yes because I do have HDMI connected. We're going to basically set up the first time settings. This is considered like a first time startup to the machine. So I'm going to skip internet settings for now, but you can decide to adjust this if you want to. And there you guys have it. So that is how you upgrade the hard drive to a PS3 system, where you decide to use a fresh hard drive and reinstall the system firmware. So now what you could do is, since you have that same USB that you backed your system up to, you can actually go down to System Settings and you can go again to Backup Utility. From there we can choose Restore, and then it'll notice our restore file in our USB drive, and this is the number, so we can click on that and it'll restore. So I hope this video helped you guys out. I hope you were able to update your PS3, or upgrade should I say, storage wise. If you liked the video, leave a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.